Gruppo Albatros presents A Happy and Eternal Life Thanks to a Good Governance by Anonimo. Government of the Mighty. Everywhere, from the smallest town to the biggest nation, the mighty men, alone or gathered in lobbies, have created a development system that made a few people incredibly rich, gave a third of the population a relative and unstable wealth, and left the rest of the world in despair. This was the cause of dictatorships, migrations and terrorism. That bunch of people approved the laws that increased pollution drastically, triggering the climate change. You may ask me, were you able to rule yourselves? Isn't it dangerous to let millions of people make choices? Shared common sense. Citizens were aware of the seriousness of their problems. They knew, at least generally speaking, what it took to solve them. They felt that things had to change quickly. They were sick and tired of watching and listening to pretentious and deceptive politicians who did not practice what they preached. People wanted to be part of political life, but most importantly, wanted to avoid the disaster. Most people did not vote anymore and were not interested in politics. I mean, politicians' politics. They were interested instead in the problems of politics. Only the judgment and the choices of the majority of the population are objective, moderate, rational, fair and thus useful, because they spring from the common sense or the shared common sense that they represent. We had changed thousands of rulers for many generations. That was enough. What then? A revolution? We had seen many of them. Afterwards, new politicians. Moreover, it was impossible to find a single man able to make the best choices for everyone. There was an only democratic and peaceful possibility. We needed to give more power to the representatives. It was not contradictory, because power would come from the citizens. Luckily, we had telematics, which allowed the sovereign people to communicate their will not just to the representatives, but to everyone, which meant that things could hardly be misunderstood. It was hard for any politician to invoke a silent majority when the majority could speak publicly. This new governmental system was called demo-telematocracy because it created a better democracy thanks to telematics. Demo-telematocracy equals endless telecommunication poll referendum. Now tell me how it started.